It's Sunday again, which means we're back with a market update. In today's video, we're going to talk about Bitcoin, Ethereum, gold, and XRP for the change. I chose XRP because I think it's still a very big coin, of course, even higher market cap than Solana, I think. So we're going to take a look at XRP as well. Like and subscribe, really appreciate that. If you want assets, coins, currency pairs checked, leave them in the comments. I'll try to include them in next week's video. But as always, let's start with Bitcoin. And Bitcoin, I just saw, made this low on the 21st of November, which is exactly 1 month ago. So we're in this range for a month, and what we have seen is, of course, from the low, we saw some reaction. Of course, saw some reaction. This is just a bit of nothing. You might say, yeah, we're up, we're down, but this is just nothing. Even though this is a pretty big range of 10%, this is just creating liquidity, creating plays, making money. The big players making money because price is nothing. Is not really doing anything, because if you compare it to a month ago, we're up 10%, which is, of course, 10% is an $8,000 move, but on Bitcoin 10% isn't that much. Where we are at right now, we're a bit mid-range of this thing. We're a bit in the middle, and yeah, we had some scary dumps the past weeks. People thought it was over here, but Bitcoin showed a reaction after we reacted from this level here, so no reason to panic. But it's also not looking very well if you look to the upside potential, because Bitcoin is struggling to break this resistance here, as you see. And then if you look to our levels, I know these are a lot of levels, but these are the two important levels. Locally, this one, the 90,500, and then we have those two boxes. These are not very important to be picture on the top perfect, which is these boxes are very important. So we have here the daily move to low, whatever, this level here. And then we have this is the failure. What is the failure? Here we make in this range a new high, because this high is higher than this high, but we fail. We can't continue the trend, so we fail, we drop, we retest this, and we make a new low locally, of course not lower than this one, but we locally, and of course in these weeks we make a new low. So this is your failure, because you fail to continue the trend after this retest. So this is an important zone, and of course then this, because this is more like a weekly move to low, and this is a very important zone, around 95, 96, 97,000. And that's the upside. Downside, of course, you saw the levels. We have some support levels. The main support is, of course, doesn't have to be perfect, but this zone from this low to the hold here, as you see, this zone very important. If you lose this level, and it was looking like we might look for this level, pick up this liquidity with this dump here, but we didn't do that, which is good, I think, because we still could have dropped lower, and that may have been better. We picked up all the liquidity to make the move, but now we still have some kind of support zone, because imagine price dumped here, picked up the liquidity, and was right where it is right now, then okay, no problem. But then we did not have this zone again. If price then dropped here, there was nothing really to support price, and price would easily just dump further. While now we still have this zone. If price still can't break certain levels, you still can come back to this zone, expect a reaction, and potentially make new highs. So I feel like for Bitcoin, it has been the same story for the last few weeks since we saw this massive dump. Bitcoin has to gain this zone. They tried several times but haven't really come close, but they also haven't dumped like crazy or lost levels. I must say this week, with the news, they created some weird wicks, weird pump and dumps, not really pump and dumps, but just up and down in price several percentages, which is not that good, because with this wick you took all of this liquidity. So after the dump, because of course we had this massive move upside but immediately downside, and then we were continue and dropped here. And here, I'm going to be honest, I thought we were looking for this zone, we might make new lows, but price recovered, gave a strong reaction. And yeah, it looks like there is currently more upside potential, but Bitcoin can surely drop to this zone. Bitcoin can also just look for this zone. I think in the next week it will become clear what the plan is on Bitcoin. Either we look for the zone, as I mentioned, or we try to get more upside potential, but we'll have to see that next week. Ethereum, basically the same thing, but also a little bit different, of course, as well. 1 month ago we made a low, and yeah, as I also mentioned in last week's market update, Ethereum showed some better better upwards momentum than Bitcoin. Why? Because we clearly saw an uptrend. High highs, high lows, higher highs, higher lows. But yeah, Bitcoin here made a higher low, but here couldn't continue the trend by making a higher high. What does that mean? That this is your failure, and this is very important. So Bitcoin showed Ethereum apologies. So Ethereum really has to look for this zone. I know it's a big move from now, surely, because 7% move. Ethereum also dropped from the top 20% almost, even a bit sharper I think than Bitcoin. We tested the level here, nice sweep, and then we still have of course this zone here, same as Bitcoin, around this price is the big support. I also thought we were going to search for this liquidity, but we didn't do that. And now, yeah, I think it's pretty clear. It's not picture perfect, of course, that it's almost never picture perfect, but you can clearly see the structure here. You can clearly see low, 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 high, low, 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 high, low, low. I mean, the structure and the levels on ETH are very clean in this range. While on Bitcoin it's a bit of sideways. Well, this is very clear with an uptrend here, with a downtrend here, and now we potentially reverse again. Same thing for Ethereum. Like with this week, I thought that, yeah, we were going to dump further, but price recovered. And it's the same thing. If we look to the daily, we have this level here, and so these two zones surely keep an eye on. And then, yeah, if Ethereum in the next weeks can go here, then of course it's another story. And then we look at, let me remove everything. Then we look at other levels inside this range. Yeah, these levels, not really one specific zone like Bitcoin, because Ethereum, as you see here, they dropped and recovered, while on Bitcoin, yeah, they dumped. While on Ethereum they made a slight recovery, which is why there's not one important move to the low zone. But yeah, a lot of levels, but these levels are not relevant for now. So in this zone we have these levels. This box, yeah, it's important, but we already tapped this, so this box is more of a, yeah, to see that this is just an indication. I wouldn't take any trades based off this box, but this is just an indication. If you can close above this, we can make new highs. And then we have these two levels. Yeah, this box here, as I mentioned, important. So on Ethereum, basically same thing. We made, yeah, since last week, somewhere here, yeah, we dumped quite a lot, 12% almost, but we recovered, and we could potentially see new highs now, because we see a lot of liquidity, as you see with this dump. All this, okay, not this, but all this long liquidity is out of the market now, so price may have enough fuel now to make new highs. Yeah, about gold, what do I have to tell you guys? It's only up. It's just one party which has been going on for a year now. It's only up. Price after this high in October made a sharp correction of 10%, I believe. But since then, price has been grinding up, and we're knocking at the door for new all-time highs. I believe on some exchanges or some price charts it already made a new all-time high. On the chart I use didn't, but yeah, they're looking for new all-time highs, of course. Literally they were what, 0.5% away or something, even less maybe. Yeah, they're grinding up, but as I mentioned in last week's video, where was last week, there was somewhere here, right, that there is a lot of long liquidity. All these stop losses, all this liquidity is ready to be swept. So I think if gold stops continuing this massive uptrend, and then I mean locally, not on the bigger time frame of course, but yeah, on the lower time frames, 1 hour, maybe even 4 hour, that if gold makes some sort of correction, it could be a pretty sharp correction, and that doesn't mean we're going to see this, but we could see for a week maybe some price action like this, where we drop to level here to get the liquidity and then continue to move. But I also said that last week, and last week we just didn't do that. We were here and we just made new highs, so it's not necessary, but I feel like one of these days, one of these weeks, gold will make some sharp correction. Not a 10% move, not like one dump of 8% in a day, surely not, but that we see some days of -1, -2% for a week long, and then after that price can continue, because of course we're in a massive uptrend, but we see these types of pullbacks always. I mean, this was a crazy uptrend in the summer, in September. That's crazy, surely on an asset like gold. But I do believe we can see some, yeah, sort of pullback to sweep all this long liquidity. Levels not really important. Upside there are no levels. Yeah, okay, this local level, but price is what, 1% away, not even 1%. And then we have some support zones. I surely think price can retest to this, which is a 2-3%, 1.5% dump. Surely not that crazy, but price will do it in one candle, of course. Yeah, all these levels are open. I don't think price will go fully to the bottom again, not below 4,000, surely not, but to 4,200 could be possible in the next weeks. You have to keep the macroeconomic news in mind for gold, which also plays a huge role in the price. so you never know what happens. Surely if there's some bad news or news isn't in the favor of the markets, price can surely dump. Then to end things off, I have XRP as mentioned, and we're on the weekly time frame now, so big time frame. Don't think this is price action of the past days, weeks. So yeah, since the pump in late November, we're in this big range. Price is moving again. Of course, XRP is a big coin again, however you want to call it. As well, we saw this big dump with this candle, took out some nice liquidity. This level would have been a beautiful trading opportunity, but it is what it is. Flew to the lower time frames. It tried, XRP tried, you see it here, pump up 25%, pump 10%, but couldn't really continue the trend. They had some support level here, but price didn't really give a reaction, so they broke it through it, made a new low as you can see. So currently XRP, I would be careful with buying XRP or other altcoins because you don't know what the market is doing. Bitcoin and Ethereum are also mid-range, so there's a lot of uncertainty. But XRP could do this. Surely think XRP will gain to this level, which is a 20% pump, 18% pump. And of course you want the most percentage gain if you invest, so you surely want to buy low, but I would be careful for XRP. I would wait for price to do this, to go somewhere here, and then on the retest you can buy. This way chances are bigger than that an actual reversal will happen, because if you buy here, surely price could do this, but then price could dump again, price could just slightly rail down to another level. So at the moment there's a lot of uncertainty, so I would personally wait until price shows some kind of upside momentum, because this pump, of course 8% is a pump, is some move, but on XRP that's so much. As we see, we're like 100% away from all-time high, which means we dropped 50% since the all-time high in the summer. But yeah, XRP, interesting coin, can give nice gains surely, because XRP, of course, as I mentioned, even bigger than Solana if you look at market cap. But I would wait for price to show some strength, because if you look to the 4-hour, to the daily, if you keep on the daily, if you look at Bitcoin, okay, of course we saw a dump, but now we're a bit ranging. Ethereum the same, we saw a dump, but we're ranging. Well, if you look at XRP, yeah, we're ranging, we're not dumping like crazy anymore, but we're making new lows. We're in a downtrend, because if you would invert the chart, you would say, yeah, we made a new low here and we were in a great uptrend, because as you see, high, high low, high low, high low, high low. You get me? So yeah, we're in a clear downtrend here. Price is making lower highs, lower lows. So I would stay away from XRP and altcoins in general for the moment. If they show some strength, and of course you don't want to miss a 20-30% pump, but just for your safety, I would wait till they gain certain levels, and then you can play the retest and just hope that altcoin season is finally there. But that was it already for today's market update. I hope I learned you guys something and you know what the market is doing, where we're at. Again, like and subscribe, I really appreciate that. Join this PA trading community, very great community. Signals, but not only signals, education, daily updates, market updates, we got everything, full course also on YouTube on this channel, so make sure to check that out, and then I'll see you guys in the next video.